I think we're up and running. Hey? I'll cough now. Get it out of the way. Right, let me see if this is all up and running. It says there's 5 of you watching. Oh, it's this new software. I've got to still get my head around all this.
It's coming through, there's just a delay.
Alright, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright,
It's quite a long delay.
Yeah, well, that's alright. Close that one. And here we go. I think this is it. We're up and running. Let me go to large screen. Oh, welcome back to Ben's Garage. Let me alter that a little bit. This is our second live stream of 2021. Hi, good evening. So yeah, this is our second live stream. It's been quite a long time coming. I did the first one back in February the 16th to be precise. A lot has happened since then, but then not a lot really. Good evening, Tina, the Hobbit, Forster. Yeah, I'll wait for a few more of you to come in, if you're going to come in. Or I might just be a little bit optimistic there. But yes, early days yet. It's early days, isn't it? So let me just minimise this so I can see what I'm doing, and I'll get it up here. Make this large so I'll see what I'm doing. There we go. We're all set. So yes, what has been happening at Ben's Garage? I don't know if this is going to be too bright. Ooh, let me just see if that makes any difference. I should have done this beforehand really, shouldn't I? There we go, that's better. I mean, the trouble is, as I move, the light changes. But yeah, so quite a few things have happened at Ben's Garage. I say I was going to wait for some more of you to come, but it's obviously not happening just yet, is it? I mean, this software that I'm using, it's set up a thing, but when I've gone live, it's got to set up another web page. So all the links that I put out during the week, that link doesn't take you to this live stream. Oh, I'm still getting my head around it. Too much technology in one go. I just worked it out on the old system. But good evening, Stephen Wilson. Yeah, I'm still getting my head around all this software at the minute, so you'll have to excuse me if anything does go quite tits up. But yeah, so what has been happening at Ben's Garage? We've got a few things. The Audi has been broken for 2 whole years. Oh God, you always get one, don't you? Morning. Well, perhaps it is morning. I don't know where you are. But yeah, so the Audi broke down when my cousin was out here when he was house hunting. As you probably know, it lost boost. It's been sat idle for 2 years. The Audi. It's now fixed. It's back together. The battery has been reconditioned using the C-Tech battery charger. I'll do a video on that because I'm quite impressed with that. It's still sat on the charger now outside, but Tina went out to it today and it starts on the key now. So yeah, we're actually going to be using the Audi because it's got a tow bar. The new Range Rover hasn't got a tow bar on it, but the Audi has, and we need the trailer out in the field here to do some work. So while we've got the Audi up and running, it's got nearly a full tank of diesel. We'll use it for towing the trailer about. So yeah, but then I've got a few little jobs to do on it, and we'll get that sorted out, get it all cleaned up, looking spot on, and we'll get some photos of it and pop that up for sale. But yeah, It doesn't. I suppose it does feel like 2 years, but yeah, it's been off the road. Well, yeah, it's been broken for 2 years. Well, just over 2 years now. But, so that was a bit of a nightmare job. Everything that I'm going to talk about tonight is going to be videos that are coming along in the future very soon. I mean, I've been putting out a lot of Range Rover content, which does my channel good. It pushes all the numbers go up. But I'm going to try and put some other content in with the Range Rover. I've got quite a few more Range Rover videos that I want to do. We're off. Started coughing already. But I'm going to sort of break it up with other content. Hopefully, it'll get the views. If not, it'll upset the algorithm again. So yeah, there's a couple of videos on the Audi coming out. It's fixed. Thank God for that. It was a bit of a nightmare actually, but it's done. Next thing, the generator. Einhell. Oh dear, what a game we've had with that bloody thing. So I bought the generator from Amazon.fr. I paid for the extra 2-year warranty on it. It's all twos, isn't it, tonight? Two months since the last stream. 2 years the Audi. 2-year warranty. But the warranty doesn't start until the manufacturer's warranty runs out. But Amazon didn't let me know that. So I was backwards and forwards. Anyway, I got in touch with Einhell. And you have to log in and put all your details and you request something or other. Did all that. And it got rejected for some reason. No idea why. You know, just they don't tell you why it got rejected anyway. So I tried again, put some different numbers in. And they get back to me. Okay, well, it's under warranty. We'll pick it up. And we'll let you know. So I said, let us know. So I'm in a wheelchair. It takes a bit of effort getting out to the garage and messing about. Anyway. Sat in there eating breakfast one morning, a bloody great lorry turns up and he takes the generator. So they take the generator. I get an email saying that they've diagnosed it, diesel in the petrol, too much engine oil. Oh, yeah, what a load of... And they want €90. Of course, what can I do? They've got the generator now. So I said, well, I find it very hard to believe there's diesel in the petrol because we keep our cans separate. We've got petrol cans and we've got a diesel tank. Anyway, cut a long story short. Hang on. They fixed it. They sent it back. Came back on a pallet. Absolutely. And had a right old rough time in the back of the lorry. One of the wheels was bust. The front feet were all bent up and it was all sitting on the piss. And load of pictures. Sent that to Einhell. It did work. They shipped it back out with petrol in it, so turn the fuel tap on, choke on, away it goes. It runs, and it runs a lot better than it did do before, but I did put that new carburetor on it. Anyway, so I said this damage has occurred, so they've backwards and forwards. He said, I'll have to back order the parts and have them. I said, send me parts, I'll fit them myself, I don't worry about that. It was going to be 8 days, I think. He said, well, they turned up today, which was like 3 days. So that's a 2 thumbs up, really. Einhell, good service. I don't think they did the damage. I think the damage was done by the courier. But that's done. That's one headache out of the way, because we haven't got power at the garage yet. So the generator's handy, especially if we want to fill the digger up or the tractor. We can just fire the generator up. That runs the electric pump, which pumps the diesel out into the tractor or the digger, and we can use it for other bits of electric up there as well. So that's all that's done. I fitted the parts today. It rolls around lovely on the wheels and it's got the nice feet on it. So that brings me on to the Hater Harrier lawnmower. I say there's videos for all these little projects we've been doing. They'll be coming out in the future. No spark on the Hater Harrier. So right, okay. So I was tested the coil. The coil tested all right. Anyway, New spark plug, new air filter. Put it all back together. Nothing. Filled it up with petrol. Nothing. I'm slogging my guts out trying to pull it. Good evening, David. I was slogging my guts out trying to start it. The Hobbit got on it. She had a go. She couldn't get it started, so sod it. Let's just leave it. So anyway, message retracted. But yeah, so I'd already ordered a new coil. I tested the old one anyway. Put the new coil turned up. Put that on. I've got a spark plug tester now, so the new spark plug's in it. We got spark, but nothing happening. So took the air filter off, used the old easy start, and it would fire up, and I could get it running with the old easy start. So I thought, do you know what? We filled that lawnmower up with the same can that we used on the generator, and they're saying there's diesel in that. So it's like, Now, when you sniff it, it smelt of petrol. It was like, oh. So that's why I was sort of having an arm whether we had put diesel. I don't think it was anything to do with us. I think it was something at the supermarket. Anyway, I tipped the diesel out on the floor and it didn't evaporate. Well, that's a bit random, isn't it? Does someone have a good oatmeal recipe? Not a fan, no. I'm just sorry about that. Yeah, so today I've been out there. I've drained all the petrol out of the fuel tank. I've pulled the bottom off the carburetor, drained all the fuel out of the carburetor, put fresh petrol in it. Lo and behold, it fired up straight away. Now, in the past, the Hobbit has cocked up before and put neat petrol in a 2-stroke chainsaw. Did it by accident, nobody's fault. I stripped the chainsaw down and rebuilt it, not a problem. They do get addicted to it, but it proves a point. We don't believe that we've mixed up petrol and diesel, because we've got the red diesel we use in a tank on an electric pump, and the can we use for the lawnmowers has only ever had petrol in it. So whether it was contaminated fuel from the filling station or what, I do not know. But we have since got rid of all that fuel and we're just using neat petrol now. And it fired up straight away. It's good as gold. The Hobbit did a little bit of a lap up and down the garden, switched it off. She managed to start it up again. So that's that. So that's 2 things fixed. No, 3 things fixed. Audi, generator, lawnmower. Oh, bloody hell. So, TD6, the Range Rover TD6 that's sitting outside, that's been sat there. That's had the same fault that the Audi had. Driving along, big explosion noise, no boost. All you can hear is the turbo whistling. We've been through all this before, haven't we, on the videos and stuff. That's getting fixed. The chap who was interested in it, I got in touch with him the other day. He's still interested in it. He wants to come. He's got the parts for it. He's going to come next week and see if he's going to have a look at it. I said to him, I'll put it all back together because it does run, and you can drive it. It just hasn't got boost, so you can get it up to the speed limit, all right. Because I drove it back from mum and dad's like that. But he said, now while it's apart, we'll pull it apart a bit further and see if he can fit this new hose, if that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Anyway, that's happening next week, so potentially the TD6 will be going. I know I was going to keep it as a project thing, but we could do with the money back in the bank, really. Shan't go into it too much, but money in the bank is better than sitting outside doing nothing, really. So that will hopefully get rid of the Audi and get rid of the Range Rover. No more than any other car really. Parts for TD6s are quite cheap, so that you've got that going for you. Yeah, so we'll get rid of that. We'll just be left with a TD V8, which hopefully, well, not in the near future, because I want to put some all-terrain tyres on it, but I'm not going to put them on while it's got good tyres on it. So when we need to replace the tyres, I will be putting all-terrains on the car, because by then hopefully the Panda will be fixed and the Hobbit will be using the Panda to go shopping. That's on the list. I've got a list of topics, you see, look. Things to talk about. There's nothing wrong with the TD6. I mean, I would still keep it if we could afford it. I'll give you a brief rundown of why we're getting rid of it and why money is tight. It's all due to Brexit, I believe, and we're not going to linger on that subject for too long. Basically, my disability benefit gets paid by the French government, because we were paying into the French government taxes when we were working. So my disability benefit gets paid by the French government. I don't know if they get it recuperated from the UK or whatever, or however that works, but basically the French government pay me my disability benefit. Now, we had until the end of June to apply for what they call a carte de séjour, which is basically our right to be here in France. Well, we applied for ours in March, and we still haven't had an appointment yet. So they're now saying, because we haven't got a carte de séjour, I'm not entitled to my benefits. When I get my carte de séjour, I'll probably get my benefits again, but the joys of Brexit. Anyway, so that's that. We'll not cover that subject anymore, because people are either for or against, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so the TD6 is going to get fixed and it's going to get gone. So in the future, any sort of projecty kind of thing that I was going to do with the TD6 might end up being done on the TD V8. But I'm not. Whereas with the TD6, I was going to go to town and that. I still want to keep the TD V8 as a nice car. You know, if I do go off road, I'm not going to be going mad, getting it all beat up and everything. But so that's the TD6. So now the garage is empty. Next thing in there is the Panda 4x4. Yeah, I'm afraid the gearbox is made of cheese, and not a strong cheese. It's a real sort of fragile, crumbly cheese. I think the 5-speed GM gearbox in the TD6, the torque rating for that gearbox is very close to what the engine puts out, so you're quite on the limit of the gearbox. If people do a lot of towing with them, and especially if they remap them so it gets a bit more power out of it, it tends to upset the gearbox a little bit. Now, on ours, it's just started playing up a little bit, but I don't think it's the gearbox. I think it's the torque converter. The torque converters normally start playing up. They deposit metal filings and stuff, which gets in the oil, and then the oil circulates around the gearbox, and it's the metal filings in the oil that does the damage. If you've got a good gearbox, keep it well serviced. That's all I can say, and don't abuse it. But yeah, we bought our car sight unseen, the TD6, and took a bit of a punt on it, and my sister drove it over to France, and it was fantastic. And it just started playing up sort of like a couple of months before we actually moved here, and then we bought the TD V8. I found what used to happen, it used to change up through the gears lovely. It used to get into top gear on a open road, and in fifth gear you could just sort of feel it. juddering. So what I used to do was put it into sports, and then it wouldn't change up into top gear. It revved a little bit higher at cruising speed, but it didn't do the juddering in fourth. It would only do it in fifth gear, which was at that certain speed, at that certain revs. But if your torque converter was recently replaced, I'm assuming that they flushed out the oil as well and did all that, and you should be good. But yeah, as I say, as I just started playing up, and the chap who's interested in it, I've told him. Yeah, I mean, it's the valve blocks get killed by the contaminated fluid, and the contaminated fluid is normally metal filings, which comes from the torque converter. So I'm led to believe. I've told the bloke who's interested about the gearbox. I mean, it drives fine. We've never had a trans-safe message come up on the dashboard. But yeah, that would be sorry to see it go, really, because it's been a bloody good car. We moved house with it. That's the only Range Rover with a tow bar, so that tows the trailer. I don't know if we ever have a need for a tow. They're quite expensive, aren't they, Land Rover tow bars? And I don't want an aftermarket one because they're just bloody awful. I don't even mind about having the Witter, no, it's not Westphalia, which is the one I've got on the TD6. It's the quick release one. You just unlock it and pull it out, and it drops out. I don't mind just having like the slot in one, and you put the pin in. So that when you off-road, you can just pull the pin out, pull that out when you're not using it. And but for the whole setup and the wiring loom, it's, you know, you're talking about €700, maybe a little bit more. But we're putting a tow bar on the Panda. When the Panda's going in the garage, that's getting front to back. It's getting the works. We've got new suspension for the front, new suspension for the back, new brakes for the front, new brakes for the back, new lower arms, new hubs, and all that kind of thing. We're just going front to back with it. New springs on ZF manual. Yeah, I really want to service the gearbox on the TDV8. I've got the build sheet for my Range Rover, because that's a video coming up actually. It won't be this week, it might be next week, but yeah, it's been tow prepared, my Range Rover, which basically means I think they've enabled it in the ECU, so when you plug your wiring loom in, it's all going to work as it should do. There isn't, I don't think there's no tow bar across the back at all. I'll have to have a look. No, I'd see it, surely. No, I definitely haven't got a tow bar. I was underneath the car the other day. I'm second guessing myself there. But no. So yeah, we haven't got a tow bar on that. But we're going to be putting a tow bar on the Panda. Main reason being for towing the trailer around the field. We're going to be using the Audi for the foreseeable future until we sell the Audi. But in the long run, we'll be keeping the Panda. I don't think I'm ever allowed to get rid of that. Yeah, as I said, they've enabled it on the ECU so that when you do plug in, it all works as it should, which it did on the TD6, because the TD6 did have the towing electrics. Now, it failed its MOT on the towing electrics not working. When I was an MOT tester, I know it was a few years ago, but towing electrics didn't come into the MOT. Anyway, rather than fixing it, they just ripped all the towing electrics off, unbolted the Westphalia thing, and just chucked that in the boot. So I get hold of the TD6 and want to tow with it. So, tow things all in the boot, no electrics. Anyway, I bought a new wiring loom, and it just plugs straight into the thing on the back of the car, and away you go. That all worked. So that's what that is. It's been toe pack prep, I think it said on the build sheet. But yeah, so we're going to put the tow bar on the Panda, and the Panda can tow up to 900 kilos braked. Now our trailer's 750 unbraked, so she can't tow it legally on the road. Legally on the road, she can tow 320 kilos unbraked, but our trailer's bigger than the Panda, so it'd look a bit daft. And we only want it for round the field and in the woods and stuff. So we would just be popping it. I felt I can get a tow bar for the Panda for about 100 quid, brand new. So we'll be popping while the car's all up in the air, getting all the suspension done. I'll be pop a tow bar on it. And that'll be all. We'll get that Panda done. Once we've got all the Panda done, the only thing I've got to get is brake drums, because when I ordered all the parts, the brake drums are out of stock. I bought all the bits from the same firm. Luckily, because I think if I'd have done it after Brexit, it would have been so expensive with import tax and all that kind of thing. But we got all the bits before. But the drums are out of stock, but I can get those over here quite easy. So yeah, that's the. No, we've only got 3 things fixed so far. The Panda's going to get fixed. The TD6 is going to get fixed. I don't know if he's going to want me filming him when he's here next week, if he gets here next week. He was planning to come on Monday, but we don't know what the weather's doing Monday. We are due storms. If he's happy with me to film, I'll do a little bit of filming, but we'll see if we can get the TD6 running. But it's such a pain in the neck getting to that intercooler hose. Why BMW designed an engine where the airbox is all part of the rocker cover. So you've got to take the rocker cover off to get underneath the airbox where the turbo is. But he's going to come Monday. He's going to have a look, see if he can get to it from underneath, because he's quite a bit smaller than me, and he might be able to get underneath and get his hands up there, and he might be able to do it from underneath. If that's the case, I can get all the top put back together. We can get it running. Evening, Sam. Now, Sam's online. How many of you have watched his video tonight? The Sarco. Never bloody heard of him. That looks like it's going to be quite a good series. Dinner time viewing. Let's see, we're an hour in front. We've already eaten. And I must say, it was rather nice tonight. I did chorizo pasta. Homemade pasta. The Hobbit made some pasta. And I knocked up the rest of it. Yes, I went over to Sam's channel and watched the premiere. Oh, I've got to wait for that to come back up now. I know your channel. Give me a quick grab what you were doing before France and how you ended up in France. So yeah, I've been through it a few times, but I don't mind. Before I came to France, I was a mechanic, MOT tester, recovery truck driver. Yeah, basically in the motor trade. But I've been in France now for 12. This will be my 12th year. So I'm out of the motor trade now. I've not kept up with all this new technology and stuff, so I'm sort of learning as I'm going. I mean, diagnostic stuff was sort of about, but we didn't really get involved with it. The garages that I was at that were involved with it at the time, it was the diagnostic and the OBD side of things was sort of like in its infancy, and it was sort of like all new, and a lot of garages weren't investing in the computers. I mean, when I worked for the Toyota garage, they had the main dealer computer systems and that, which, you know, you just plug it in and you could do absolutely anything on any Toyota. But yeah, so I've been out of the motor trade for a few years now, so I'm not current basically, and I ended up in France because my mum and dad moved over here in 2000 and 2003, I think. And I ended up on my own, so I said, right, come into France, and I've been here ever since. Yeah, I was watching that, Sam, and it does look like a lot of work. Yeah, it's interesting. I've obviously seen similar looking vehicles. Obviously the Volvo, and what's that one that begins with P? Powfinger or something. I don't know. There's a few out there that look similar, but nothing like. Obviously, never even heard of them. So that's a new one on me. So yeah, that's it. Powfinger's the bloody high abs on the lorries, isn't it? Pinsgauer. Yes, yeah. Obviously, I was going to say obviously Unimogs, but they're nothing like, are they? What you're talking about, Unimogs. But similar sort of thing, but with less axles. Yeah, Powfinger, that's a bloody high-ab. Well, it's not high-ab, because a high-ab is an actual make of lifting arm. I think we used to have high-ab, Atlas and Powfinger. Talking of this SDD tool, or whatever that is, this chap who's interested in the TD6, he's been messing about with a P38, and the other bloke who owns the P38 brought it round here to see if I could plug my OBD thing into it. It's a 96 P38, but I can't read. He's got an ABS airbag light on or something, and none of my diagnostic equipment would read it. I've said to him it's probably because the P38 is like the old school diagnostics. That SDD, would that read it? For all you Land Rover buffs out there. I could have asked my mate really, because he knows. I don't think he's ever watched any of these live streams, but lad I used to work with set up his own company, Pace Automotive. He's like a proper technical wizard with Land Rover electrics. I could have asked him, I suppose. But yeah, so I've had no experience with that SDD Land Rover software, but yeah, it's all good stuff, isn't it? All good stuff. So what else have I got on my list? I suppose it needs to be car related, doesn't it, if we're talking on here. We've got some other things. Our drains have packed up outside. That's what they call a French drain. You might not be interested, but I'm going to tell you anyway. A French drain apparently is a length of pipe with slits in it, and it's supposed to drain into the ground. They put gravel underneath, and the water leaks out the slits and soaks away into the ground. Not on our house, they don't. There's a concrete box out here, and then there's a pipe that runs out into the field. It's got slits all in it. It's just in the ground. So over the years, all the dirt and mud, obviously the water flows through the pipe and it flows out of the slits, and then it obviously goes back in and it takes all the dirt with it. So they've all got blocked up and buggered about. Luckily, we've got a mini digger, so we've dug it all up. That's our job for tomorrow. We're going to get out there with a pressure washer. I've managed to pull a load of the pipe up out of the field and see if we can. And if they come apart in 3 metre sections, so I'm going to see if I can pressure washer them out with the karcher and see if we can get it all back together with some gravel in the bottom and try and do the job a bit better. There's always something, isn't there? Luckily we've got a mini digger, because otherwise that would be a bloody expensive job. So there's that. No, we haven't done that yet. A website called Carto. I'll have to look into that actually, Sam. And then I'm assuming you can get a lead from your laptop that just plugs into your computer, into into the car. It's not entirely legit. Oh dear. I ain't too worried about that. Yeah, well, I'll look into that actually, because it'd be quite handy if I can get the laptop plugged into something. Oh right, yeah, I'll have a look at that. Yeah. Do you think it'll read the P38, 95, 96? Don't know. I'll look on their website anyway. But have you got your IID till yet then, Sam? I know you said you'd got one lined up. I know I plugged ours in the other day. I wanted to read the codes on the car, because there's always some codes that pop up. There's just random things like something's not communicated with such and such, the body control module or something like that, and there's always something. And a lot of these codes were from like last September, so I just cleared all the codes, had a bit of a look on there, and I actually, it's a video coming up, I tested a cheap little dongle health monitor thing, and yeah, a bit of drama with it, but it did work. That's another video coming up, and oh, cheap Chinese rubbish. But no, it did work. The only trouble is it relied a lot on GPS and the internet. Of course, my phone is so crap. I managed to get the app on the phone because it was Bluetooth, this little dongle. So I had to use the iPad, and then to scan the codes, the iPad had to be connected to the internet for some reason. Oh dear. So I had to drive right up to the house to pick up the internet, scan the code. But it did work, and of course the mileage, it had all these other functions on it. Anyway, you'll have to watch the video. How does it affect the T? Basically, no boost. It's as gutless as hell. It wouldn't pull itself out of a puddle. It couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding. Having said that, driving it home from mum and dad's, I got it up to the speed limit and it sat there perfectly fine. I don't know how much more fuel it would use, but I got it home without the turbo was working, but the boost wasn't getting to the inlet manifold because it was just leaking out somewhere. But yeah, it does still run, but it's very sluggish. Yeah. Now when it went on the Audi, that turned out to be the intercooler in the end, not a hose. It was chucking out black smoke. It was like people's behind me putting their headlights on because they couldn't see where they were going. But yeah, it's all good stuff. So that's our drains. That's our cars. And what else we got on here? We've been planting seeds. We've got some chilies growing. In the next day or so, we're going to be getting out there planting some potatoes. Potatoes! Yeah, so that's the gardening side of it covered. I've been out and cut the grass the other day down in the field, and I'd always do like 2 or 3 laps all the way around, so that we like to leave it out in the field to grow sort of like meadow grass, because you get all the wildflowers out there. All the insects love it. So I just do a couple of laps around the field, so that if I'm out in the car and we're walking the dogs around, I obviously go in the car because in the wheelchair. So I do a couple of laps with a tractor cutting the grass. So we did that, cut the grass, bits and pieces. The Hobbit's going out and collecting all the grass up. I'm going to use that as a mulch on the beds. So that's the gardening side of it. I'm sure none of you are that interested in all that kind of thing, but I thought I'd get it in there, let you know what we've been up to. Hey? Oh yeah, we got the tanks in. We've got 6,000 litre water tanks, and they've all just been sat out in the field, hoping to catch a bit of rain. So what the Hobbit does is she puts buckets out, fills the buckets up with water, and then tips them into the tank. Anyway, that's not a very good idea, is it? So we've been out there, levelled out next to the garage, scraped it all out, put some chalk down, whackered the chalk down with a whacker plate, and we've managed to get 4 tanks lined up along the back wall of the garage, all level as well, which the Hobbit says, why do you sound so surprised that we've managed to do it a decent job? But, you know, anyway, I mean, I'm in the wheelchair and the Hobbit is doing everything else and I'm sort of doing what I can. But anyway, we've managed to get all the tanks, or 4 of the tanks, in position on blocks so that we can still get something under the taps. We've actually plumbed them into the downpipes as well, which was a feat in itself. That was a bit of a nightmare, but that's all done. So we've got all that done. It hasn't bloody rained since, has it? Gee, we had a little spot of rain one night, and we've got, I don't know, 200 litres in. She reckons that in all 4 of them we've got about 1,000 litres. We've got another 2 tanks. We're going to put them on the side of the house here. So that's another little job we've been up to. What else we got on this list? That wasn't on the list. That's just the Hobbit piping in the background. I did a video a while back. The Trek PAL booster pack. Now, I bought this originally for our old flower mower that we had, the tow-behind flower mower with the cheap, crappy Chinese engine. I replaced the engine and put a new battery on it, but the battery wouldn't stay charged, so we got this booster pack for starting that up. Anyway, it's been a godsend, this booster pack. When we was out in the Range Rover, the TDV8, when it had the old battery on it and it was playing up, it randomly, you would just go to it and it wouldn't start. And so we was carrying the booster pack in the car, and there was still a bit of power in the battery, but it just needed that bit of extra. So we was both out in it one day and it wouldn't start. Hobbit got out, put the booster pack on, away we went. And it didn't do it again for a while, and then it did it while the Hobbit was out on her own. Well, of course, she knows how to connect it all up, so she managed to get the car started. Anyway, since then we've put a brand new battery on the Range Rover, but we've been using the booster pack to start the Audi every time we move the Audi, because that's been parked for 2 years and the battery is as flat as a pancake. So we've been using the booster pack. Anyway, I've fixed the Audi, as I was saying at the start of this live stream. And we was out there trying to get it started, and these booster packs, these little things, they've got like a button on them. You have to, because there's no power in the battery at all, it senses that there's something wrong, so you have to override it with a button. So you hold the button down and then the light comes on, it goes green, and then it powers the car up. So of course Tina was cranking it and it wouldn't start. Then I would have to reset it, and we was doing that, and all of a sudden it just went poof, and the bloody case split open. It's like, whoa, you bugger. I was expecting a lithium battery explosion, but luckily, no, that was it. It just went poof and split open. I thought, well, that's that pile of shit that we're going in the bin. I bought that July 2019. Oh, I don't know. I couldn't remember where I bought it from. I thought, well, I will get in touch with whoever I bought it from, because it's obviously not fit for purpose. And well, at least get my money back or something like that. I searched Amazon.fr, eBay. I can't. Anyway, it turned out it was Amazon.co.uk, because before Brexit we were still ordering from .co.uk and postage was still reasonable. And so I sent him a message, told him what had happened, sent him a picture of the all burst open. And actually on the thing it said customer service, 90-day warranty, 24-month warranty, and it was a 24-month warranty for quality control items or something. I can't remember what it did say, but anyway, it's something like that. So I thought, well, we've not quite got to July yet, so we're still within the 24 months. Sent him a message, and I didn't think I'd get a response. Anyway, they gets back to me. They're sending me a replacement. So if it actually turns up, I will sing their praises. I have since read the instructions. I'll go into that when I do a video on it. It's still there. Eh? No, so do you still play bass guitar? No, the pig's still up there. And the crack hasn't got any bigger. Yeah, I've got it sat next to me now, so I'll just have to reach over, switch the amp on, bring some music up on the computer, and have a bit of a play. But yeah, and I've got the drum kit behind me, which I really must get back onto. I'm not what you could call a drummer. I do like Rickenbackers actually, and I wouldn't have minded one, but this one, this is a it's got a nice flaming on the neck. That's a Bravewood guitars, P bass. The only reason I got this, everybody raves about P basses, Bravewood guitars. I used to go on a bass forum. I can't remember what it's called now. Bass Chat, I think. Everyone on there raves about Bravewood guitars. It just so happens that John from Bravewood Guitars is my cousin. So he made that. Basically, with his Bravewood guitars, he makes them all from scratch. It's like a lot of these companies, they buy the kits and they bash them about and this, that and the other, and they make a nice guitar. He makes these from scratch, just a big lump of wood, cuts it all out. So it is a handmade guitar. Anyway, I got in touch with him because I hadn't spoken to him for years and years and years, because we all come from Kent. We moved to Lincolnshire. They moved to where's Red Roof?
Cornwall.
They moved to Cornwall, so opposite ends. So I hadn't seen him for donkey's years. Anyway, I got in touch with him. We got chatting about basses. I've got a Thunderbird somewhere. I don't think it's in here. It might be tucked away under the bed somewhere. And I've got an acoustic. And I used to have an Aria Pro Series 2, which I shouldn't have got rid of really, but anyway, I did. So anyway, I got in touch with John, and we was just chatting and that, and I was like, I might be interested in a handmade guitar, if the price is right. And he came back with a reasonable price, obviously family discount. He said, but I've made this one for myself, but I'm not using it. So if you want it, you can have that for a family discount. And I'll give him £600 for it. It's handmade. It's got that flamed, I can't remember what wood he said it was now, but it's got bare knuckle pickups in it. And it's just really nice. I've got flat wound strings on it because they're nice on my fingers. Round wounds. I used to play round wounds all the time, but for any of you non-musical instrument people out there watching this, you probably might not have a clue what I'm talking about. But anyway, the flat wound strings are nice and smooth. Flamed maple, yeah, it could have been, I don't know. But it's got that real nice P bass noise, and I've got the action set. It's quite low, and it gets a bit clanky sometimes. I don't normally play with a pick or a plectrum, whatever you want to call it. I normally just use my fingers, but if you do get sticking in with a plectrum, it's got a real nice sort of P bass growl. Not that I have it cranked up that loud indoors, but I used to gig with that one all the time. The Thunderbird, that was a nice guitar, a nice bass, but it's just such a pain in the arse where it keep bloody dropping down because they're neck heavy, aren't they? And you forever just get back up here, you bloody thing. So yeah, I've got an acoustic bass over there somewhere. Is it over there? Yeah, it's stood up against the wall. Yeah, they do sound good on old Rickenbacker. But I think spending money on bass guitars is out of the window for the foreseeable future. I've got what I need. I can make a row with what I've got. I'm not gigging anymore, so that's that justification out the window. So yeah, it's. But I'm glad I've got that one. It's a keeper. I did say to him, "Could you make me a jazz bass to go with it, sort of thing, same colour and everything?" And he gave me a really good price for that as well. But if he's still making them when I'm 50, I might ask the Hobbit for one for my 50th birthday, which is a few years to go yet. But no, I suppose not. I mean, I'm not gigging anymore because I'm in a wheelchair. Not that making a lot of difference really, because I could still gig, I suppose, but I just got fed up with it. Do you know what I mean? It was all right while I was doing it. The money was good. It got to the point I played in covers bands. I played in originals bands. The last covers band I was playing in. We got really good, so tight, and the last gig we did was at an Irish bar in Ongelem. Absolutely fantastic night. It really was brilliant. Everyone was up dancing. The whole place was just moving. Anyway, they pays us. Next day, gets an email from the drummer, and he's jacking it all in for some reason. Oh, bloody hell! Back to square one. So anyway, that band sort of fizzled out, and in the end, I was playing with. I was just depping for 2 or 3 bands, and the good thing is in France, if you're playing in a band, like in the UK, you turn up in a pub and you play, but over sort of in France, if you play an instrument or you're like an artist or something like that, people appreciate it. And good evening, Craig. Yeah, the public appreciate you, and so you tend to get people. We used to play in like restaurants, which sounds a bit weird, and I thought it was weird when I first started doing them. You get set up, you do a sound check, people start drifting in and start eating, and then like the landlord or the manager would come out, because what they used to do was they used to feed the band as well. So you pretty much guaranteed a 3-course meal before you played, plus you got €100 each for the night, which, 3-course dinner, €100, and off you go. But so you've had your 3-course meal, and then the manager would come out and says, "Well, they've all had their first course. Can you go and play a couple of songs while between courses?" And you get in there, and they're still eating, and you start playing. They quickly get their food down, and they all get up and start dancing next to the table with their partners. It's like a really weird thing to see, but it's good. It's and once they finish their meal, they all get on the dance floor and really, they really appreciate the music. Didn't often get that in the UK, especially in covers bands and stuff. Playing a dirty old pub somewhere and get a load of beer chucked over you. But, I don't really miss it, but the good nights that we had, I miss those a little bit, I suppose. Don't miss them, but they were good. So I've been through my list of all the things I was going to talk about. That's the Audi, the generator, the TD6, the Panda, the shitty drains, the lawnmower. I've put down here strimmer, but I don't know why I would have put that. I don't know. I've got my cousin's trimmer sat out there. I've put a new coil on it and I can't get spark out of it. It might be the spark plugs because I put a new carburetor on it and there's a Chinese. It came in a kit: carburetor, air filter, fuel lines, all bits and pieces, and a Chinese spark plug. So I might just get a brand new spark plug and put it back together and see if I can get that running. It really annoys me if I can't. It's like the lawnmower. I could not get it working, and I'm scratching my head. Really. And the generator, that really puzzled me. But it turns out now there was diesel in the fuel. We'll say no more. If it was us, I'd hold my hands up and say, yeah, we've cocked up with our fuel cans, but knowing that we've got red diesel in a tank and we don't use diesel in cans. Anyway, it's all done now. Generator's running. Lawnmower's running. Well, the Audi's running. Oh, all these videos will be coming out in the future. I've got a video coming out this week. I don't know if there's any of you are motorbikers. I used to be a motorbiker. Or a biker. Yeah, I always had motorbikes. Obviously got rid of the last one because in the wheelchair. Not the easiest thing to do, is it, ride a motorbike when you can't walk?
How do you know?
Well, I can't find out yet, can I, until we win the lottery?
No.
I would like to get hold of a motorbike, a cheap motorbike, and see if I can adapt it. Would be a project. I've found a little gadget that changes gear for you, because I can use my right leg, like driving the car. I can use my right leg to drive an automatic, no problem. My left leg I haven't got the strength in it. So I've found this gadget. It's a push button gear change. It's got like a big solenoid motor thing which goes onto your gear linkage. You press your buttons, bang, and it goes up and down and changes gear. I'm not sure if I'd be able to balance on a motorbike. I think if I can get on it and get the bike stood up, I've got enough strength in my legs that I might be able to hold it up. Once you're on it and you're riding it around, you're not going to, the balance is easy. It's when you come to a standstill and I really wouldn't mind getting hold of one, but it's money, isn't it? I don't think the Hobbit's going to wear that one, to be honest. But in the future, if you lot start watching a few more of the adverts. But anyway, yeah, so that would be nice. I would like to get back on them. I do miss it, but have you seen the stabilisers they put on that fold up? I don't know if they're button operated or if they operate on speed. But you see, I might be able to hold it up once I can get on a bike, and I've got enough. As long as my feet don't slip on the floor, otherwise I'll be on the floor and that'll be it. I'm trying to build my legs up, obviously, and physio still comes out once a week. But yeah, this push button thing would be ideal for the gears. And then I'd have to get like a. I don't know if I'll be able to use the back brake with my other foot. I probably would be able to. Depends on the bike. I don't think it'll be an all and out sports bike. And I don't think it's going to be anything too big, because if I did get another bike, I'm not going to be touring on it. I'm not going to be doing any long distances. I'm only going to be local. If my cousin comes over on his motorbike and we go for a little ride around the countryside or something like that. If my brother comes over, he's got 2 bikes now. You'll see one of those videos this week. He's got a brand new Royal Enfield. Trikes are very expensive in France. Stupidly expensive, more expensive than the car. And motorbikes and sidecars are super expensive. You can't just get a motorbike and say, I'm going to put a sidecar on that. You have to have one that's specially made buy a company and go through all the proper rigmarole bits, tests and stuff. Yeah, it's all ideas for the future. I say I do miss motorbiking, but it's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, I don't mind just bimbling about in the Range Rover. That suits me. But say if I was to get another motorbike, it would only be something very. I was looking at a Ducati Monster, and I've never really liked them, to be honest. I've obviously liked the 916, the 996, the 998. I didn't like the 749 or the 999, was it? And I'm not even keeping up with the new ones now. But I never really liked the Ducati Monster. But a Ducati Monster 600cc, they're only about 170 kilos, and it's about 50 horsepower, which is plenty for me. Yeah, I've done sports bikes. I've done 200 miles an hour. Yeah, I've done the speed thing, but just a little plod around the local area would be nice. But that's further down the line. I think we need to get some other stuff. We need to win the lottery first and sell some stuff. Pardon? Yeah, to win it we've got to play it, which we don't. So look at this.
Service with a smile.
Thank you very much. Can you put the light on when you go out, please?
Yeah, this.
Hang on, I'm gonna. It's gone down a wrong aisle. Years and years and years ago, when I was working at the very first garage when I left school, there was a bloke local, and he was a bit of an inventor, and he invented. I don't suppose he invented the concept, but he designed and built a motorcycle and sidecar, but you sat in the sidecar to ride the bike. Yeah, you got to be in it to win it. Well, I'm hoping YouTube picks up and takes off, you know. No.
I'll buy you a toy bike then.
Yeah. So he used to sit in the seat. It wasn't a sidecar. Well, it was a sidecar, but it was an open thing with a seat in it and handlebars in front of the seat, and that was all linked up to the. And it wasn't even a motorbike; it was a bloody mobilette thing. He painted it bright orange, and he was real eccentric. He had a bloody beard out here, and he used to wear his piss pot helmet with his beard that used to split in the middle and blow either side of him. It looked like a bit of a death trap, actually. He had a couple of them. He was the sort of bloke. I can't remember what program it was. There was a program on the telly where they kept going into these people's houses who were hoarders, and there was one bloke called Mr. Trebus. Now this bloke who was near where I was working, he was just like that. You went past his house, you couldn't see how to get in. It was just so much crap and junk on his drive, and you could see his house was the same. You couldn't see in the windows. It was stuff stacked up high. Oh. Now I got sent that watch from a company. They got in touch with me. Now I think I've said in a video before that somebody reached out to me. Yeah, see you in a bit. And I got some comments saying, "Well, we was with you until you said they reached out to you." Oh, okay, fucking, you got to be careful what you say now, ain't you? So anyway, this company got in touch with me and said, looking at your social media presence, oh, well, here we go. What are they trying to flog me? We want to send you a watch. Pick a watch. They sent me the link. Pick a watch from our website and we'll send it to you. I thought, here we go. As long as it don't cost me anything. So anyway, I thought, never heard any more. Of course, I picked out which one I wanted, and I think I was chatting to Sam one night and saying, you know, all these people just randomly just get in touch and say, can we send you this to put on the thing? And this company wants to send me a watch. I said, I don't know what it's got to do with Ben's garage. But anyway, so they sent me this watch. It's quite nice, actually. This gets a lot of hate on the internet. For a freebie, it's not bad. I don't think I'd pay the price for it. Anyway, I did a review on it on one of my other channels, Ben's Reviews. I thought, well, I can't really bring it in with a Range Rover video, can I? Driving along with it on the steering wheel. Oh, look at my new watch. Anyway, that's that. That's one of the only freebies I've got. Most of them want bloody money for something. And I had someone saying, oh, we've noticed you've got a large presence on Instagram. Well, I've got a few Instagram accounts. I've got the Ben's Garage. I've got the Mad Dog Chili Farm side of things, which is like the personal vlogging, blogging type thing. Well, the most I've got on there is about 200 followers. Well, there's hardly a bloody presence on social media, is it? But still, if you want to send me stuff, I don't care. But I won't be putting anything crap on the channel. If I think it's rubbish, it's in the bin. We're selling the... Now, I've already spoke about this. We're selling the TD6. We're selling the Audi. And hopefully selling the Digger to get some money back in the bank. We've had some unexpected payouts. Not unexpected. I mean, like the computer. The old Mac blew up. To replace it with a PC was going to cost X amount, and so we replaced it with a new Mac. That's $3,000, just over, and that's money out of savings, which is like a bit shit, really. And now what has happened is I've had a letter from CAF, who basically they pay me my disability benefit. Because I haven't got a carte de séjour, they're stopping my benefit. So no income whatsoever. Lovely jubbly. It's hopefully going to be temporary. What the situation is, because of Brexit, we now have to apply for what they call a carte de séjour. I'm sorry for all you people that have heard me talk about this before, but I'll just quickly explain it again because there might be different people in. We have to apply for a carte de séjour, which is basically it's your right to stay in France. It's just a formality. I've been here for 12 years. So we put in for it. We've applied for it at the start of March. We've had the email back to saying that they've received all the documents and they will get in touch with us as and when. So we've not heard anything. So we're still waiting for our rendezvous because we have to take our passport photo and we have to go and take our fingerprint. They take our fingerprints, which sounds a bit, oh, fingerprints, but in France, everybody has their fingerprints taken, whether you're foreign, French, or whatever. When you're if you're French and you hit 18, you get your own identity card with you, and they take your fingerprints. Full stop, no question. So we've got to go and get our fingerprints taken, taking our passport photos, and then they send you a carte de séjour, basically. And until I'm in possession of that, which then states that I've got the right to be in France, they're talking about stopping my benefits. Now, so the French government pay my benefit, but I don't know if they get reimbursed by the UK government. I don't know how it works, because obviously it works. You've got French people living in the UK now. Obviously, now, they were before. But you've got French people living in the UK, you've got British people living in France. So there's a crossover. So it's got to work both ways. But they've given us till the end of June to apply for this carte de séjour, which we did in plenty of time. But there's such a massive backlog that we're not in possession of our carte de séjour. So they're talking about stopping our money, which will be a bit of that's a bit tight. So I might have to send the Hobbit out to work. Or get registered and start working on stuff in the garage, which I really don't want to be doing. But no, I think once we've got our carte de séjour, everything will be good in the world and we'll be back up and running. But just certain things have been hitting our savings. Like, we bought the tractor with the mower and the rotavator. It still left us with money in the savings, but then something like the computer blew up. That wasn't foreseen. If something goes wrong with a car, it'll be get the Panda fixed. Toot sweet. That is quick. So yeah, that's the story of that. So whatever we sell, we really want to get that money back in the bank. Well, I do try it. Yeah, no, with the social media thing, like on YouTube and that, obviously I do earn a bit of revenue from YouTube with the ads and stuff like that. I've got affiliate links in the descriptions from Amazon stuff, so I get a little bit from that. I've got some buttons on my thing, like buy me a coffee and all that kind of. Nobody ever does, but I don't push it. I put all this stuff on there in, not in the hopes, but it's there if somebody wants to donate or buy a coffee, say. I did have a Patreon account set up, but it was just such a ball ache. People had to be a member of Patreon to be able to donate or subscribe or whatever. This buy me a coffee is quite straightforward. You don't even need an account. You just go on, click buy. I've changed it to buy me a beer because I don't drink coffee. So, but it's not something that I push, and I'm not asking any of my viewers to start parting with their hard-earned money, because money is tight at the moment for everybody. The only thing that I will ask of my viewers is to watch the videos maybe all the way through, click the old thumbs up, and share it on your social media. If there's a video that you like, share it. That doesn't cost people any money, and it helps the channel out quite a bit. But other than that, I'm not begging for money. It's like the YouTube revenue. It's nice to get it. I've got 2 channels now that are monetized: the Mad Dog Air Guns and Ben's Garage. But I had a really good month last month. I mean, I'll be open about it. It was nearly €300 last month, which, for not doing anything, once you've done the videos and they're on there, that's it. They just tick away and earn you money. But so last month was quite a good month, but this month, the Mad Dog Air Guns, I had a real spike on one of the videos. It went right up, but it started coming back down now, and it's leveled out back to €2. Well, on the analytics, you can see how many euros you get a day. But yeah, it's just all these little things like Amazon affiliates. I mean, I get quite a few clicks on that, but not so many. I've lost track now. What was I talking about? Yeah, Amazon. I get a lot of clicks, but I get a few people order stuff. But if they go through Amazon through one of my links, and then they'll order something, I earn something out of that, even if it's not a link that life is. Well, I've got a chap interested in the TD6, and he's coming on Monday, hopefully. He might even be watching this. If you are, John. But yeah, he's going to try and fix it. Yeah, I've got the other channel, Mad Dog Air Guns. I've got a few, actually. Some of the bloody videos I do on them, they do. I mean, one I did, and it's like 100,000 views. I mean, why can't Ben's Garage videos get some views like that? But I've got a Gamo Hunter 440, a Benjamin Sheridan .20. That's the 2 rifles, I think. I would get them out and show you, but it's against policy on live streaming to show weapons. But if you go over to Mad Dog Air Guns, you'll see them all over there. I've got the Gamo Hunter, the Benjamin Sheridan. I've got an MP40, Umrex MP40 Legends, fully automatic BB gun. But it's fantastic. It weighs. the weight on it and everything, the action, it's brilliant. So that's those. I've got Glock 17 Gen 4, a Sig Sauer SP 2022, a Remington 1875. The 1875 is BBs and pellets. That's quite good. That's quite accurate, actually, that one. The Glock and that is a bit, because it's blowback, it's sort of all over the place. The Sig Sauer is quite accurate because that's non-blowback. It's just straight as a die. I think that's it for. Then I've got a blank firing gun, which is that's a Rete, but that's a Sig Sauer SP 2022 basically. I've also got a black powder Colt 1851, which is amazing. A lot of the black powder shooters give me a lot of stick for it because Colt never made a 44 caliber gun in 1851. It's not accurate. It's not historically correct. Who gives a shit? It fires and it's legal in France. Anyone can own a black powder pistol, which to me it's a bit daft really because it's lethal. It fires lead balls at it's got a lot of power. You put a cap on it, you fill it with black powder, you put your wad in it, you put your ball in, and it's a proper gun. But they class it as an antique firearm because it's an antique. It's a reproduction of an antique gun, and so they class it as an antique firearm, which is not classified in France at all. So I can have a black powder revolver, I can have a black powder rifle. I've got the Colt 1851. I do like the look of the Remington 1858, which maybe Christmas, who knows? We'll see what the money situation's like. But yeah, I'm going to be doing I've got a HDR 50 revolver and a HDS 68 shotgun. They're CO2 powered home defense guns, which are quite modifiable, and they're the videos that get a lot of the views, modifying them. Of course, I'm getting a lot of grief from people. Oh, you need a firearms license. Oh, then you've got to explain to people that you're not in the UK. We're in France. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Mad Dog Airguns channel. Well, I think it's an obsolete caliber, isn't it? It's not really. It's lead balls, 44 caliber lead balls, and black powder. I don't suppose you're allowed them in the UK. You don't suppose you're not even allowed handguns, are you? I'm putting this buying. I haven't got a 4.4. We've got the 3.6, and on a run, I can get over 30 miles to the gallon. I don't know if Sam's still on. Sam was on. He's got the 4.4. And he did a video actually of running costs last week, I think it was. If he's still on, I'm sure he'll come up and he'll let us know how many miles to the gallon he gets out of it. But anywhere between sort of 22 to 20. About 22 is the worst. And I've had over 30 to the gallon on a run. Excuse me. Moving to France. Yeah, in France we can have up to 20 joules on an air rifle and air pistol, whereas I think in the UK it's 6 foot-pounds for a pistol, 12 foot-pounds for a rifle. 20 joules is nearly 15 foot-pounds. After that, you need a Category C license, which is really easy to get. You can just get them from the shooting club. You just have to go along to join the shooting club, get instructed on a few sessions, and then you get your Cat C license, and then you can have 2.2 rifles and high-powered air rifles and stuff. You can actually have handguns in France, but I think that's a Category B license. Category A is like military weapons and fully automatic, which general public can't get hold of them. So yeah, we can have up to 20 joules, air rifles and pistols, and then we can have black powder, which is fantastic. See, I went for the 44 caliber because I thought, well, there's two options. It was 36 or 44. I thought, now I want to have the big one. You know, I don't want 36. That's mincy, isn't it? We want to go all out. I think the black powder rifles are 50 caliber, and you can pick them up quite cheap. Actually, a really good branded one, about €600 for a really nice. You can actually buy a kit and finish all the wood and put it all together yourself, which was a bit tempting, but money's tight. Pardon me. So that put pay to that one. Excuse me. Bloody hell. So I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 23. So yeah, that's one of the good things about living in France. I did say to the Hobbit, I said we're going to get some guns for the upcoming apocalypse, when the world goes to shit. People in the cities and towns can't get any food, so they're all going to come out to the countryside and pinch our carrots. I can sit out here with my guns and shoot them off. I don't think we're ever going to get to that, but you never know. We're prepared. Oh, dearie me. Name that tune in one. The Hobbit. I always call her the Hobbit. Now, I used to call her the Dwarf because she's short. Well, she's not short. When I'm standing up, I'm 6'3". So a lot of people look short to me. So I used to call her the Dwarf. And one day, I think for some reason, she did something. I said, oh, for Christ's sake, you're a bloody Hobbit. That name seems to have stuck. That could be a video coming up very soon. She said that she prefers the Hobbit to the Dwarf. So the Hobbit has stuck. She hasn't got hairy feet. But, she shaves her feet. She was brushing the dog the other day and she had a bloody great big ball of fur. She says, oh, next time you do a video, I'm going to stick them to my feet and you can say, look, this is why we call her the Hobbit. But no, she threw it all away. Oh, I forgot how to play it. It's quite small as well. Look, I've got to get my fingers around it. Oh. Anyway, that's enough of that. It's still in tune, which I find quite amazing. It's been sat there for months and it's... They got weird tuning ukuleles. Nothing like it. I might start... Actually, Sam... oh, yeah. What fuel mileage do you get, Sam? Somebody's asking in the comments. But he's looking at getting a 4x4? A 4.4. What sort of fuel range average? I think you mentioned it in your video at what it's cost to run. What is that all over it? Got all spots on it. I'll have to give it a bit of a clean. Yeah, I might do some music over on the Mad Dog Farm channel because it's not monetised, that channel. So when the weather's crap, I might do some just play along on the bass and put it on there. I've really sort of forgotten how to play this. I don't know what I'm doing. I used to know all the notes, but I'll have to get back into it. One of them other things, I've got instruments coming out my ears here. I've got the keyboard over there. I've got another keyboard over there. I've got the drum kit. I've got 3 bass guitars. I've got this. I've got a melodica. A saxophone. I suppose we could do a series on the Mad Dog Farm with Ben learning saxophone. Christ, that'd scare people off. So I was actually picking up the saxophone quite well before I went in hospital. I got back into reading the music again, and I could actually get a tune out of it. Since being in hospital, I haven't got the puff. I have to build up my lung capacity, I think. That's pretty much what I can get out of my 3.6. 22 to 24 around town. And and 30, it might even get a bit more than 32 on a run. You know, you get out, our motorways are quite, there's no traffic. If we get on our motorway and we see about 6 cars, that's busy. So you can just get on there, set the cruise control, 130 kilometers an hour. The thing it's like just ticking over. Well, it's not, it's a little bit higher than that, but you know, for a car that size, driving all 4 wheels, it's not bad, if you ask me. But yeah, so if you look out on the Mad Dog Farm channel, there might be some music coming along. I am actually looking, not in the near future, but I'm sizing up some tyres. As I said before, I think I commented on one of your videos before about the Cooper Discoverer ST Max, I think they are. I can get 4 of those for about €720, I think. They look quite aggressive, actually. But once the Panda's up and running, we're not going to be using the Range Rover quite so much for like the shopping trips and all that kind of thing, because the Hobbit will be using the Panda, and save the mileage on the Range Rover, because we've done a lot of miles in that this year. All 2,000 of them. No, kilometres even. 2,000 kilometres. You bugger. Yeah, I will. Obviously, I want to wear out the tyres that I've got at the moment, because we've got Continental something. I've got the bill here. I've started a folder for the car, and I've got bits and pieces of paper all over the place. So I thought, well, I'll get it all together and we'll catalogue it. Anything that's been done to the car, I'll put it in a folder. So when I service it, because it won't be getting a main dealer service. So look, all official. Look at that. So I've got the build sheet from Land Rover. I've got a receipt here somewhere for the tyres, so I know exactly how much is in it. I don't even know what I'm talking about now. Here we go. Tyres. I have got 255 50 20 109 HXL Continental cross contacts. He had 4 of those fitted. He had all 4 of those balanced, and he's had the tracking done, and that was €1,075. So, yeah, I'm trying to get organised. See, I don't know what the price of diesel is in the UK. Over here it's a lot cheaper than petrol, so it's a no-brainer for me. What is it at the minute, Tina?
135.
Well, it's gone up. It's 135 a litre. Euros, that is. And the petrol's 150, 160.
Yeah.
It's about 165, I think, the petrol. Yeah, I think when I was in the UK, diesel was always a bit more. Something to bear in mind, I suppose. And does the road tax, is that done on emissions? Is the emissions different on a petrol to diesel? I don't know how it works anymore because it's all changed since I've left. It's, I don't know. It's a bloody minefield. Yeah, so when it comes to, when I've worn these tyres out, these Continental, whatever I said they were, then I'll be looking at some all-terrains, obviously 20-inch. And there's not a lot about 20-inch, and I don't have to buy another set of wheels for it, because, you know, I know I can get 20-inch all-terrains, it's just what sort we go for. Those Cooper Discoverers, whichever version I go for, I don't know. They do look quite aggressive, those ST Max ones. A Nokian rotor lever. Nokian. I think I might have had. No, they were Nexans. I think we used to do Nokians when I worked at Formula One Auto Centres. When I was MOT tested out, I'm sure they used to do Nokians there. They were a budget brand of some other make, you know, the budget version of a better brand. I think I can't remember. It was something like that. But yeah, over here we have Nexan, which is a budget tyre. We've got two Nexans on the back of the TD6. Which they're fantastic. They're mud and snow. When I've had a bit of a play, it was with the TD6 in the snow in the field. There is a video of that actually, playing in the snow. Yeah, I always go for the diesel, and especially now. The diesels nowadays are so advanced that for everyday driving, you're not going to notice the difference in performance, to be honest. You know, the TD V8, when you rev it up, it doesn't even sound like a diesel. It just has that nice rumble, and it's like, ooh. Hobbit goes out shopping in it, and I wave to her out the door, and you can hear it going up the road, and it's all, that sounds lovely. I won't be saying that when the Panda's going up the road. It'd be like, oh God. Somebody's just battered a wasp's nest or something. Yeah, when the Panda's driving up the road.
That was last year.
Oh, when it was running rough.
No, we had the one.
Oh, yeah, the Panda had the wasp nest in the boot, didn't it? Yeah, so the Panda's not going to sound quite the same going up the road as the TD V8, but
10 times better.
I have to put a sports exhaust on it for her. You probably didn't pick up on what she just said, but there'll be a blue mist coming through the door shortly. She is sending out profanities. So I think that's a no on the Panda sports exhaust. We'll put a Pico big bore back box on it. I don't suppose you see cars nowadays with a Pico big bore back box on them. They all go for these stainless steel. Back in my day, it was you didn't have all these stainless steel cat back exhaust. It's you cut it off and you welded a Pico on the back, or a cherry bomb. Yeah, take the centre box out, weld in a cherry bomb. That'll do. My first car was a Mark II Escort. Come on. And then I had the MG Metro. And then the next car I had was a kit car, Eagle Jeep. Now that was a 4-branch manifold straight into a Pico back box, which stuck out the side right next to the driver's seat. That was loud. I want a tyre that is going to not get stuck on a grass field. If you saw our video, the TD-V8 goes off-road. I know I was booting it and messing about, and I didn't have all the special programs set right. And it's only a very slight incline. The car just sat there spinning, all 4 wheels, mud flying up everywhere. As I said in a video, which I don't think I've released yet, I've got a few videos that I've done to be released. The car is only as good as its tyres. You can have all the technical wizardry you want on it, you know, like the Range Rover, all the special programs, traction control, locking diffs, this, that and the other. And if you've got crap tyres, or if you've got road tyres, wet grass will catch a lot of cars out. I find that funny because you see a lot of these YouTube videos with Range Rovers and they're all slating it. Oh, look, Range Rover can't even get across a grassy field. Well, a lot of cars can't. You know, if it's that slippery and you've got road tyres on, you're just going to sit there. Simple as that. Now, on the build sheet for my car, it actually came with all-terrain tyres. I don't know if that was usual, but I've done a video of what came on my car when it was new, being the Vogue SE spec. That'll be coming up shortly. But yeah. So yeah, it came with Continental all-terrains. I don't think I'll be putting Continental all-terrains back on it because they are bloody expensive. And the Pirellis are going to be expensive as well. And we're on a budget. Plus there's quite a bit of life left in those tyres yet, so the amount of miles we're doing, it could be another couple of years. But yeah, that is what lets the car down. If in the future, when the Panda's on the road and the Hobbit's using the Panda for shopping, errands and all that kind of thing, and we do decide that we're going to go away camping somewhere, and we do decide that we're going to, what's the word? No, it's not that, is it? It's if we're going to convert the Range Rover into a bit of a more of an overlanding type vehicle, which we was going to do with the TD6. This will be in the future as well, because obviously it won't be happening anytime soon. Then tyres will be a big thing, because you know you don't want to be going off the beaten track with road tyres and getting stuck. I've been looking. I haven't been looking recently, but when we was talking about doing the TD6 as the expedition vehicle for going camping and stuff, because obviously we're in France, we can go anywhere in France. You've got pretty much the right to roam wherever you like. The only places you can't go is where it's a sign saying private property or private road. You know, all these off-road tracks, there's none of this Ramblers Association jumping up and down saying you can't do this and you can't do that. So I have been eyeing up some bits of kit for the TD6 which will fit on the TD-V8. Things like sill guard and rock sliders, underbody protection, and the one thing I was sort of really struggling with was the roof rack. I like the original Land Rover full length bolt on roof rack, but they're like rocking horse shit. You can't find them anywhere. There's a lot of websites list them, but they either say sold out or unavailable. And there are a couple of companies like Front Runner, I think they do one, and Rhino, they do like an aluminum version, but I think the Front Runner one looks better than the Rhino one. but they're all quite a lot of money. What would it look like if I made one? I don't know. I've got a pipe bender. Get hold of some steel, bend it up, weld it up. Oi! I'll practice my welding before I do it. I've got a grinder, I can make the welds look nice. This webcam on this camera, every time I move in the light, it changes, doesn't it? What if I turn that around like that? It might not do it so much because oh, it's still doing it. Oh well. Yeah, so that's all things for the future. Yeah, I've been there. As in, you saw, if you've seen the video, TD-V8 goes off road. I wasn't stuck. I just backed up and I approached it more gently. I did boot it going up the hill, so I was sort of aiming to get it stuck, if you know what I mean. But seeing what it would do and seeing what lights you come up on the 4x4 display and bits and pieces. But yeah. So yeah, road tyres on wet grass, it's a big no-no really. I used to have on my old Classic, I bought my dad a Range Rover Classic, brought it out to France, and it was all sorted. It had old man Emu suspension, jacked up 2 inches, underbody protection, both the front and rear diff covers, and real nice wrap round ones as well, not these stick on the fronts. Heavy duty sills, heavy duty front bumper, heavy duty back bumper, steel rims with BF Goodrich mud terrains on it, and they were unstoppable, really was. And when I came out with my Range Rover Classic, I had road tyres on it with Nex and Nokians. That's right, that's where I had the Nokians. Because his car never went off road, and I was gonna beat mine up, and so I put my road wheels and tyres on his Range Rover, and I had his steel rims and BF Goodrich mud terrains. They were amazing. I did get the car stuck a couple of times, but it wasn't anything to do with the tyres. I got it wedged in a gully, like a prat. Left it there overnight, went back with the tractor the next day and pulled it out. But yeah, they were really good tyres. But I don't want it. They were really, really aggressive. Big old lugs on the sides. I don't think I want anything like that. But sort of mildly aggressive all-terrains, I think, will be ideal. Any tips for building a Overland L322? Well, I don't know, to be honest. I never got that far. Yeah, I said that the previous owner on our car put 4 Continentals on it, and it was just over €1,000. That was with balancing and tracking as well. So, but yeah. So tips for building an Overland L322. Well, if Sam's still on, he's overlanded Land Rovers to Morocco. I've never overlanded anything. I've done lots of off-roading, but for me, a roof rack, expedition roof rack, because once the wheelchair goes in the boot, there's no room for anything else. Well, there is, but you can't pile stuff on top of the wheelchair. You could put stuff in and put the wheelchair on top of it, but then the higher it gets up, obviously the tailgate comes down, the higher the wheelchair's up, the further that sticks out. So for me, I would have to have an expedition roof rack with a ladder so that the Hobbit can get up there, and have some like storage boxes with stuff, you know, like cooking stuff and recovery stuff. We could have certain bits and pieces in the car, because what I was planning on doing with the TD6 was ripping all the boot out, putting the spare wheel somewhere else, probably up on a roof rack or something, utilising the space in the spare wheel well, and then building like a bit of a unit in the back where I could fold the wheelchair up and put it in upright. I was thinking about taking the seats out, the rear seats, and then just having because obviously the two dogs, I was going to build something behind the front seats for the dogs' beds, so that would have had a bit more depth in the back of the car, so I could stand the wheelchair up and slide it in something, and the rest could all be like cupboards and units and stuff. That was my plan. It didn't happen, did it? Obviously, we're hoping to get rid of the TD6 now, and if we was to do anything with the TDV8 and go away camping or anything, which is doable in a wheelchair, I think it'd be quite a good thing to actually get out, and I don't want to go and mix with the general public. But going off-roading somewhere where you don't see people, that suits me, because we'll go wild camping and that kind of thing. But I don't want to rip all the guts out of the car. Whereas with the TD6, it was our second car. Well, third, fourth car. We've got a collection here. And so I don't really want to do that on the TDV8, so I would have to get the roof rack. Most stuff would have to go up on the roof, but it'd only be light stuff like cooking stuff, recovery stuff, some spares, some tools, basic tools. So the wheelchair could go in the boot still, and you would still be able to get some stuff around it, but you don't want to put stuff. Obviously, when we stop the car, if I need to get out of it, the Hobbit's got to get the wheelchair out of the boot. And she doesn't want to have to empty the boot to get to the wheelchair, if you know what I mean. Now, they do actually do a gadget which goes on the roof of your car. You run alongside your car in your wheelchair, you get in your car, you fold your wheelchair up, you press a button, and this thing comes up, and it's like a bloody portaloo on top of your car. It opens up, then an arm comes out of it, comes down the side of your car, where your wheelchair folds up and the seat base sort of comes up to a point like that. You put this bar under it, and then you press the button and it comes back up, and as it goes back up, it folds the wheelchair flat into the roof box. But they look so bloody awful, dearie me. And when I first came out of hospital, we only had the Audi, and there's an association over here called the MDPH, which they basically look after handicapped people and all that kind of thing. The woman who was assigned to us, she actually said, we can see about getting you one of these things for your car. And I'd seen one previously on a Citroen Xantia driving around, and it looked like a portaloo on top of the bloody car. It wasn't streamlined or anything. I thought, I don't like the look of that. But I think we was going to have to pay most of the price. And it was getting on for about $5,000, so that was that one out the window. We only paid that for the car. So yeah, that would be my preparations. There are some bits you can buy to put underneath for protection if you're doing some serious off-roading. They got engine guards and gearbox guards. You can buy the sill things with the rock and tree sliders on them. Obviously, the biggest thing is going to be your tyres. And that's pretty much it. There was a couple that took an L322 to Africa, and I can't remember what the website was called now. They didn't do too much to it. They had some decent tyres put on it, and they took a few spares with them, and it was as good as gold apparently. I think it was quite new at the time. Out of water now. I've been drinking too much. Try to wedge the biggest engine that you can fit into a Panda. Now, if I put anything too technical in the Panda, I would get strung up alive. There's a big thing in this house that the Hobbit likes basic. Doesn't like all this technical gadgets, wizardry, electronics. She likes her wind down windows, her keep fit windows. She likes everything mechanical that she can fix with a hammer. Having said that, I have fitted electronic ignition on it, so but it does run a lot better with that. Rather than the points and condenser, it was hopeless. I couldn't get them set up right. I've did my schooling in bloody points and condensers and just in tappets and stuff. But and I went onto the Fiat forum and they was even saying, the Fiat Panda was a bit of a nightmare to set up even when they were brand new. So I thought, well, that's all right then. At least I'm not the only one. But yeah, I fitted a distributor, ignition module and a coil from a Fiat Uno with the same engine. It's putting out a cracking spark now and it runs as good as gold. I've had all the carburetor stripped down and that. I would really have liked to have put the carburetor through an ultrasonic cleaner, but I haven't got one yet. So the Panda is nice because it's all mechanical. So I don't, and it's the high-powered version as well. It's the 50 horsepower version, which you bugger. And it's the four-wheel drive, so you can really get that power down. We had a drag race in the field that was the TD6, wasn't it? Yeah. Between the TD6 and the Panda, and surprisingly, I was in low range, so. No, but I'm just about to say the Panda did really quite well. It kept up. I was like putting my foot down and looking out the window. It's like, shit, she's still there. That shouldn't be happening. No, I've got 170 horsepower and she's got 50. But the Panda weighs 700 and something kilos wet through. The Range Rover is just over 2.5 tons. So. The only trouble if you get an IID tool is if you want to use all the functions on one car, you've got to lock it to the VIN plate, which I've done with the TDV8. That's locked to the VIN, so I can do everything on the TDV8. I can plug it into the TD6, it will read codes, it will clear codes, and it will go into everything that it will do on the TDV8, but I can't calibrate the suspension or anything like that because I can, but I have to pay for a license. That's the one downside to the IID tool, unless you buy the Pro version, which is bloody stupid money. The iCarsoft that I've got, a lot of people slate the iCarsoft, saying it's a right pile of garbage. Mine's always worked until I tried updating it, and then it wouldn't communicate with anything. It wouldn't communicate with the new car, wouldn't communicate with the old car. Oh, what have I done? What it turns out I did, I updated the firmware. I put the new firmware onto. It's got like a little SD card in it. But the old firmware was still on it and they was conflicting and it buggered the job up. So in the end, I got through to what I'd done wrong. They might have told me or I worked it out myself. I reformatted the SD card, reinstalled the new firmware on the SD card, plugged it back in and it worked. Good as gold. It's done everything on the Range Rovers that the IID tool's done. It will read every module. Plus, with the iCarsoft, it's got the EOBD, so it will go on any other car as well and read the codes on that. Whereas I don't think the IID tool will do that. But the only thing is with the iCarsoft is you've got to go into each module separately to read the codes. So if you've got an airbag fault, you've got to go down to the airbag system and go into that module and read that, and it will tell you the codes for that. And then if you want to go to the engine module, you've got to come back out and go into the engine module. With the IID tool, it scans all modules together and brings up the list of codes, and then you can touch each one and it will bring it up on the right hand side exactly what it is, when the code was logged, at what miles. It is a fantastic bit of kit, the IID tool, but I'm quite glad that we've got the iCarsoft as well, because I've used that on the Audi. I've used it on my cousin's van to clear a code. So I'll probably keep the iCar soft as well because it is handy to have. But Sam's got more experience with like the SDD tool for Land Rovers, which I've not got any experience about that. So that's my 2 penneth worth over the IID and the iCar soft. My dad's got an iCar soft. He's got the Elite one, which does all makes, all models, which is quite good. I've not actually seen it, but he's told me it's good, and it reads all the codes on his car, and he's managed to fix them and clear faults and stuff. But I'll say the one we've got is the Land Rover version 2, and it does everything that the other one does. You can't flash the ECU, and you can't calibrate the suspension and stuff like that on the iCar soft. But it is a good bit of kit, that IID tool. Now I've got a video coming out. I don't know if you've heard of it. The Nonda Zeus engine health monitor. One popped up on Instagram offset, and it was claim your free one. So I thought, oh, we'll do that. I claimed it, and it turned up in the post. And Tina, can I get you to fill my water bottle up? It turned up, and I've done a video on it. I thought I'd cock the car up because it wasn't connecting, and I pulled it out, and all these bloody warning lights came up. But so yeah, I got the IID tool back out again and cleared all the faults that this little Zeus thing did. Once I got the Zeus thing connected to the car, it worked, but I'd already cleared the codes. Thank you. I'd already cleared the codes with the IID tool, so that this little Zeus thing didn't have any codes to read because there was none there. But that was quite good. It had all the live readings. You could bring up all sorts. I wouldn't pay the full price for it, I don't think, because the full price for it on the website is like halfway towards an iCar soft, which, you know, I quite like the iCar soft. But it does the job. These little things, apparently you plug them in. Thank you. Okay. And they're designed to be left in all the time. Now, well, I don't know about that, because it depends. If you leave your car parked up for long periods of time, there will be a slight battery drain. I know on the TD6, if you leave the door open over the OBD port, it drains the battery. Anyway, these little Zeus things, they got mileage logs and all that kind of thing, so you can log all your miles per trip. So if you're using it for business, you know, you can export that data off your phone to your accountant or whoever. A lot of the things, like on the dashboard, it was telling you things that are in front of you anyway. It's got a rev counter, and tells you what degrees your coolant's running at, or you've got a temperature gauge. Now you flick the screen across. There were some live readings. You could bring up quite a few different things, different like mass flow, air readings, and this, that, and the other. For the average Joe, those sort of live readings wouldn't mean a bloody thing. So it's a bit pointless, really. It's a bit of a gimmick. If you see it advertised and you can claim a free one, I would probably do it. I've since given it away. I've done the video. I've given it to my cousin, let him have a go, because his van's been playing out. He's got a Fiat Ducato, and the DPF all got blocked up, and so he's been having dramas with that. He managed to get it over here. We cleared the codes, and he's got the DPF working again with the help of a drill bit. But just temporary, of course, until the next CT. So I'll clear the codes, but I've sent that to him. So see if he has any joy with it. Plugs it in. If it scans any codes on his van, obviously, like a prat, I'd cleared the codes with the IID tool. But I think they're about 50 or 60 euros for the full price. But they've been giving them away for free for over a year, according to YouTube. I've seen other videos, claim your free one. But yeah, the Panda gets a lot of love. There was I don't know if you've seen it. I was doing the rounds on Facebook. There was some snowy region. There was like a hairpin bend. There was a Range Rover sat there with the wheels just spinning. A new shape Panda came up behind it and just went straight round the inside and up away it went. But Range Rover's probably on road tyres again. There you go. But yeah, if you like the Panda, the Panda's getting a bit of love actually. It's not in the garage yet because I've got some things to do in the garage. Yeah. Obviously, Range Rover owners get a lot of abuse over that one. Oh look, a bloody Panda can do this. Audi's out of the garage. We've got the mower all fixed and running. The generator's running now. Thank God. I want to get some bits in the garage before we get the next project in there. We've got a big like a big storage cabinet in the barn next to the house. We're going to get that in the garage. That's going to tuck in behind the fuel tank, so I can put all my, bits and pieces in there because it's got a door on it and everything. It's got shelves and a door. I also want to get the multi-gym up there because the multi-gym's tucked in the back of the barn here. We'll get the multi-gym up there, set up against the wall, and I can get up there and get doing some exercises. Once the multi-gym and the cabinet's up there, because the Panda's only small, that'll sit nicely in the middle of the garage. And there's going to be it'll be a series of videos on the Panda. As I've previously said, we're going front to back, do the lot. We've got springs, shocks, ball joints, lower arms, discs, pads, hoses, shoes. I haven't got drums yet. Leaf springs, shackles. What else we got? I've got a new cam belt cover to put on it, and we've got a new alternator belt somewhere. I might fit that on, and we'll just keep the old one as a spare. And there's a few other little jobs. I've got like the door locks to change and stuff like that. I've done the boot lock, that's all done, but I've just got both the doors, and I might have to put a new ignition barrel on it because the Hobbit was doing so out. She got it running out there the other day, but I could hear this noise. I thought, what the bloody hell's that? It don't sound right. Stopped me out the garage door, and you could hear the start motor. The engine was running, but the start motor was still going. So I think the ignition switch is a little bit touchy. So might be replacing that as well. And then obviously there's the interior to tidy up, but we're not worried about that straight away. I must find an airbox for it because it's got the fire engine in it, the 100cc. 100cc? That's powerful. The 1000cc fire engine. Fire engine. It doesn't put out fires. That's what they call it, the fire engine. It's got the airbox, and it's got like a mechanical valve thing in there that works off temperature, and it closes and opens valves so that you get, when it's cold, it draws air off the exhaust manifold. All that guts has gone, so I want to try and source an airbox for it. I've found a couple of garages on Le Bon Coin, which is like a French advertising website. They're actually breaking a couple of Panda 4x4s, so that might be someone to tap up, see if they've got an airbox for it. But we've got it running nice now. The Hobbit's getting used to using a choke again, because most cars don't have chokes anymore, do they? It's all done for you. But yeah, so that's, she's had cars with chokes, but obviously not for a few years, and it's just a bit of a learning curve getting back into it. So yeah, it runs quite nice now, and I just got some. I think one of the cross members underneath is not bolted to the floor properly, because when you set off, you can hear it bang as it takes up the drive. And there's a couple of other things. There's like where the four-wheel drive lever, all it is a lever by the gear stick. You just pull it up and it engages the back axle. when you pull it up, it goes forward and touches on a switch, and that illuminates a light on the dashboard. Well, that switch is so far away from the thing, so I've got all that to do. But yeah, so if you're interested in the old Fiat Panda, this is a 1987 1000cc, 50 horsepower Panda 4x4. I can hear her chirping in the background. What's it called? The four-wheel drive system. Is it Steyr Pooch or something like that? That they designed and built the 4x4 system on the Panda. And we did a video, can a Panda beat a Range Rover? And at the time I had a 4x4 course all around the field. I dug some big holes out. The Hobbit wasn't keen on doing it. She's never driven off-road. She doesn't enjoy driving off the road. She's got no intention of driving off-road, but the Panda will do it. So I thought, stick it in four-wheel drive. We just talked about how to get through the obstacle before she did it, and then just let her get on with it. And then like the big old crater, Range Rover goes down. As it comes up, the tow bar used to dig in the ground. Panda down, straight up. Every obstacle. The only thing that she did not struggle over in the woods, that I've got like a rock pile, so I'll go over that with the Range Rover. The Panda's a bit low. Obviously, it's 4x4, so it's a bit higher than standard, but it's limited on ground clearance. Luckily, there's a big cradle underneath the engine, and that hit all the rocks. But other than that, it did everything that the Range Rover did, and it was quite quick. I mean, it is the 50 horsepower version after all. Come on. But they're well sought after. I mean, to find a good one running with a CT on it, which is French MOT, 4.5 grand all day long. They're a ridiculous amount of money. And the ones that we've seen for 4.5 grand were as ropey as hell. Bodywork was rough. This one had just been resprayed. It doesn't look it now because it's been sat out in the weather and it wants a bloody good wash. But it's had a fresh respray and it had a fresh CT on it when we bought it. Got it for 2. So that was bloody marvellous. We never have found that again. So we bought it when we did, which was jolly good. And it keeps her happy. So yeah, when it gets put back together, it will be like new. I'm quite enjoying. I'm looking forward to doing it actually. It's back to basics, isn't it? It's like Sam with his old Land Rovers and stuff. It's like our old Ransom's gang mower. It's so over-engineered and it's just basic. You got a couple of belts, you got a big chain on the front, you got big UJs on the front gangs. You got 2-cylinder diesel engine, mechanical, and it's just over-engineered and really basic and brilliant. Most things you can fix with a hammer. Panda's the same. It's basic. And I think if I can get it jacked up nicely, get it on axle stands, and I can strip all the suspension out and front to back, it'll be like brand new. It does lean a little bit on one side, so hope with all this new suspension, those leaf springs are probably genuine, original, and probably been on there since new, obviously if they're original. So they're going to refresh the ride as well, because it is really rock hard, unbelievably hard. I've watched Panda 4x4s on YouTube and they actually look quite plush. This thing of the Hobbits, I've never been in a car like it. Until it's fixed, I won't go in it again. I've only got one filling. I've been quite fortunate with my teeth. I've only got one filling. And I don't think I really needed that. I think it's because the dentist got so pissed off. Every year I went back for a checkup and there was nothing. And then all of a sudden one year, oh, you need a filling. Never had one since. That car would be enough to shake out my one filling. It is unbelievable. And it's not. She knows it's rock hard. She knows I'm disabled and she goes across the field at 40 miles an hour. I'm holding on for dear life. Unbelievable. And then she decides that it's a good idea to go tearing around the field because the dogs, or Ludo, one of the dogs, chases after it and it wears him out. I mean, I walk the dogs in the car, but I haven't got a lot of choice. But yeah, until it's fixed, I'm not going in it again. It's rock hard, it really is. It's like the shock absorbers are seized up on the back, which they might have done. We've got new ones. I got all these bits from a firm in the UK called Ricambio, I believe it is. They're Italian car specialists, Italian car parts specialists. They sent all the parts. We paid about 600 quid for all these parts, but once it's done, and it'll be done for a good few years, hopefully. And they sent a little packet of chocolates, Fiat chocolates, which were it was just before Christmas, and a little Christmas card. And I said I'd mention him in the videos when I'm doing the Panda series. I'll put his little logo up, give him a bit of, send a little bit of traffic his way. I don't suppose we'll be using them again because now Brexit, getting stuff shipped to France now, it's ridiculous. And then certain things, you've got import taxes on it, it's just not worth it. It'll be cheaper for me to find a company in Italy. And like with the leaf springs, that was the only thing that he didn't stock was the leaf springs. He was trying to find a supplier for them, but I wanted them pretty much there and then. So I found some on eBay. They came directly from Italy, genuine Fiat leaf springs. Because obviously the 4x4's got leaf springs on the axle. The normal two-wheel drive version had the struts on the back. So that's that. We're all good to go on the Panda, but so we've just got these other little items to get up in the garage. And at some point, my dad said he's going to come back and try and do a bit more of the wall. But of course, we're locked down now again. I think we're going to be released partially on the 2nd of May, is it? 2nd of May, they're going to let us out. Not that I don't go out. I don't, it makes no bloody difference to me. And Tina only goes at the shops anyway. But it's nice to be able to pop over and see Mum and Dad's. Mum and Dad pop over here. And my cousin. They're quite close. But, yeah, so hopefully Dad can get over. And I don't want to... I don't know what I was going to say now. No, I don't want to push him because he's busy. He's doing his bathroom and that. And we're not desperate for the wall. Obviously, we'd like to get it done. Once the Panda's in there, it's like we had the Audi in there and we couldn't get around the Audi because it was right up against the wall almost. And we've got a lot of other stuff in there as well along the back wall. When the Panda's in there, we'll be able to have parties around it because it's only a little car and it's like a roller skate. Yeah, fun to drive. I'm not so sure about fun to drive. It might be fun to drive when the suspension's sorted out. She's happy with it as it is, but I said no. We've got while we've got we had the money at the time. While we've got the space and the tools to do it, we'll just get it done before we get it on the road. Because once it gets on the road properly, it'll never get done. So I said before we do all that, we're gonna just go through it front to back. New suspension, brakes, the lot, and it'll be like a new car underneath. Now it is only a two-seater. This Panda, it happens a lot in France. You get a lot of cars that have been converted, what they call a fourgon, which is a van. So things like Berlingos, they used to take the back seats out. Now if it's been converted into a fourgon and they've registered it as a fourgon, the car is only registered and it's only got on the carte gris, which is like the logbook, it's only got 2 seats. Now if it's only got 2 seats on the logbook, in theory you can put the back seats back in it, but if you take it for its CT, which is its French MOT, and it's got more seats in the car than what it's got on the logbook, they'll fail it. Simple as that. I'm not sure if it works the other way around, you know, if you've got less seats than what's on the kart grey. But yeah, so this one, it's classed as a foregone. It's been used as a van, so there's just the 2 seats in the front. There's a little half partition behind the seats, and it's just flat in the back. Ideal. The Hobbit, it's not a car that you can do long distance in. The Hobbit, her first car was a Panda, not the 4x4 version, but it was a Panda. So yeah, the one she had was an 88. This one's an 87. So she's always gone on about Pandas and stuff. Now, we've had a range of cars. You might have seen that video that I did, all the cars I've owned. Well, obviously, since being in France, it's been cars that we've collectively owned between us. So she had the Mondeo, she had the Vectra. Both of those have gone. And so, of course, we had the 2 Range Rovers and the Audi. And for some reason, I was just online one day looking at. I thought I'll just have a look, see what Pandas are about. One came up, and it was only just down the road, about an hour's drive, up for 2,000, and it looked really good on the pictures. So I thought about it for a little bit. I thought, well, I will mention it to her because we've never seen one this cheap with a CT on it, up and running, and it looked good in the pictures. So I sort of showed it to her, and that was that. Messages sent. Driving down to Breathe, had a look at it. She drove it around the car park, came back, and you didn't even need to say anything. She was in there trying to pay him straight away. So that's why we've got the Panda. No, Brexit has really cocked the job up, basically. I'm not quite sure what the benefits of Brexit were. I think they're yet to be discovered. I mean, whoever voted for Brexit or whoever voted against it, you know, it's done now, and there's no point going on about it. But where are the benefits? I mean, there's a local, not local, but close to us, firm that they've just shut down because of Brexit. I mean, they were a firm that used to supply English foods to the expats, and they can't compete now. Obviously, they can still do it. They can import the stuff and pay all the taxes, but at the end of the day, it's the end product is going to be so expensive, people are not going to buy it. So they said, we've built up our business since 2013, and it's been a roaring success. And we're going to close the business and go out on a high. Go out as everybody remembers our business was, rather than inflate all the prices. People get pissed off, and which is probably a good idea, because the next business they want to set up or whatever they're going to do, people will think, yeah, that they was pretty good last time they had a business going, but yeah, let's just cock them up big time. I don't know how companies like British Corner Shop are going to cope. Perhaps because they're so big, they can sort of swallow the costs or something. I don't know. But like these little independent ones are really suffering. I've noticed on Paddock Spares, if you go on to Paddock Spares for Land Rover parts, they've now actually got an EU store. I looked on there the other day, actually. It obviously knows that I'm coming from France, and it pops up, do you want to visit our EU store? So I don't know if they've got a place in the EU where they're going to ship from or what, I don't know. But that's the only way they're going to get around it, because the post, I mean, you go on eBay and just something silly on eBay, postage has gone from like 3 or 4 quid, 10, 15, 20 quid just for the same sort of item. It's I mean, I used to use ebay.co.uk quite a lot because France is quite expensive for a lot of things. Certain things is cheap. Wine is cheap. Beer is cheap. A lot of things are cheap, but certain things are bloody expensive. And so ebay.fr, I didn't very often go on it. So I used to use ebay.co.uk. Of course, UK was still in the EU. It wasn't a problem. Postage was relatively reasonable, and there was no duty to pay on it when it hit France, and all was good. Obviously now Brexit, it's all gone tits up. So now I use Amazon.fr, Amazon.de. I really don't go on eBay that much. If I do go on eBay, it'll be something coming from China, and it's free postage and no duty. Which I don't know how China can do it, which they're not in the EU, but the UK can't do it, and they're not in the EU either. So somebody's making money somewhere.
There'll be agreements the UK hasn't made that China has.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of Brexit. Bastards. They're stopping my money because of Brexit. No. Hey? No, we don't know if they're stopping it at all, but I have got a letter there that says they are. It's confusing, benefits in France and disability benefits, because I get two lots. I get allocation familiale and what's the other one called?
You get AAH, prestation familiale is what you need to live.
Yeah.
The government decides you need to live.
Yeah. What's the other one then?
AAH is over and above that.
So yeah, I get something that the government say I need that amount to live, and then AAH is
That is what you get.
what I get.
Prestation familiale doesn't come into it at the minute. So we don't know whether it's something or not.
Anyway, it might be stopping. It might not. Hopefully not. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but we are planning for the worst. So we'll be eating lentils, rice and lentils, and the dogs will be alright. They've got plenty of food. They eat raw food. Our dogs. Yeah, you can't beat a good old 90. I'm assuming you've been onto Sam's channel and seen his Defender with a Cummins engine in it. I was toying with the idea of putting a Cummins in the Range Rover in the TD6 at one point. It's not happening now. And that's how I got onto Sam's channel. Looking at the Cummins engines in Land Rovers. But I think that would be a project a bit too much for me. Being in the wheelchair, if I could get and walk about, it would be something I could do, piece of cake. But nah, I'm just going to stick with my servicing, fix what I need to fix on the car, and that'll do, I think. I mean, with this Panda video, you'll see me rolling around on the floor like a bloody turtle on its back. It won't be pretty. But it's all for entertainment. That's what it's all about. I'm here to entertain you all. Plus get a car fixed and create content for the masses. There's not that many. There are videos of Fiat Pandas, but there's not that many Panda videos of getting all the jobs done. I mean, I've done the water pump, done the cam belt. What else did I do? We fitted a wiper motor to it, which I buggered that. Well, I didn't bugger it up, but I ordered a new old stock wiper motor for the boot lid for the tailgate. Now the one that was on it had a park, so that when you switched it off, it parked back at the bottom of the screen. This one's an early one, and it doesn't park, so you have to switch it wherever you switch it off. That's where it stops. The Hobbit doesn't seem to be too bothered about that, so. It works. That's the main thing. Now, it was working when we bought the car, but the bloke was showing the Hobbit all the switches. I mean, she's had a Panda, but he was just going over them and that. This does that. This does that. He was doing all the wipers, and I didn't think any more of it. But I see the back wiper go, and it stopped. And of course, I drove the Range Rover home. She drove the Panda home. Gets it home, and I said, we was just going over everything and trying the wipers and washers, and I noticed on the back the rear wiper, the wiper blade was so long it had got caught on the rubber and it was stopped. So I opened the boot lid up, touched the wiper, and it was red hot. It burnt my fingers. Why it didn't blow a fuse, I do not know. It just burnt the motor out. So that's why I replaced the wiper motor and put the wrong one on it. Well, it wasn't the wrong one, but it was for the earlier Panda. But it was brand new old stock and it was quite cheap. So I think that's probably why we got it. I mean, it was listed for that car, but it was a different plug and everything. I had to rewire it and all sorts. So yeah, hopefully quite a few of my subscribers will follow along on the Panda series. I don't know if you will or not, but I'll do it anyway. I've got a few videos coming up on the Range Rover. We've got some jobs to do on that. So that'll be in the future, but I'm going to try and sort of I know it upsets the algorithm, but I've got a lot of videos uploaded, already filmed, edited, uploaded on YouTube, ready to release. And I've done quite a few Range Rover videos in a row, and that gets the views, and they all go up like the algorithm does the good thing and whatever. So putting in random content is going to upset that again, but I just haven't got that much Range Rover stuff, and I don't want to put it all out in one go, because then I'll just do what I do, and hopefully people enjoy it. You can see our fails and misfortunes. We won't have any on the Panda. The Panda is going to go smooth as you like. The Audi was a bit of a sod. You see, the intercooler on the Audi came out in bits, so that was quite easy to remove. Getting the new one back in, I think you're supposed to take a bit more of the front of the car off than I actually did. And I really struggled getting it back in, and I was out there swearing and cursing and sweating. And the Hobbit came out. And I don't know who suggested it. She had a go putting it in. Of course, she started fiddling about with it, and it fell right into place, didn't it? Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, got all that bolted on. Pipes on the bottom. Went to put the bumper on. Do you think we could get that bumper on? Oh, I was in and out of the house on the YouTube, because we can't get internet up in the garage just yet. I've got an internet cable to dig in the trench and connect up to the garage, but so I had to come back here, get on the internet. People was just taking the bolts out and it was just coming off, and I thought, well, I struggle getting it off, and I'm struggling getting it back on. Anyway, we were struggling out there, cursing and swearing. Said, right, let's just leave it, we'll come back out when we're fresh. So anyway, we goes back out there a day or two later when we're fresh, and where we'd got one side on and the other, we couldn't get it off. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, we eventually got it off and decided that I'll take the headlights out. And when you took the headlights out, you could see down the back where the bumper goes, because the bumper just pushes up underneath the headlights on the Audi. With those out of the way, you could see down, and there was one bit of rubber on there's two intercoolers on it. On one of them, it was just tucked up the wrong way, and it wouldn't let the bumper push all the way back in. Pulled that up, bosh, straight on. Jesus Christ. The trouble is with these Audis, anything on the engine, you want to do the cam belt, all the front has to come off, radiator, the front panel, the lot. It's a silly idea, but it's what you've got to do, isn't it? Anyway, I've been on here now for 2 hours and 31 minutes, so I think I'm going to draw it to a close. because I've run out of things to say, and it's getting close to bedtime. 10:30. Normally switch the telly off at 10:30, go through into the other room, have a chat with the Hobbit for half an hour, have my nighttime tipple, clear off to bed. So yeah, so this week's video is going to be motorbike related, in particular Royal Enfield, the classic 500 in battle green, brand new. It's my brother's bike. He's actually run it in now, so he can get up to 70 miles an hour. I said send me some footage. I said get your GoPro out and go for a little bimble. So he decided he'd go ride over Dartmoor. So he sent me all the GoPro footage, and I've just done some talking and crap, and so that'll be this week's video. We've got some Range Rover videos coming up, and we've got the Audi videos and the generator and the lawnmower. I've done the lawnmower video where we fixed that. Got that running today, very nice. Then he sent me one from his other motorbike. He's got a Kawasaki Z1000 SX. Trouble is with that, he's got the GoPro on a chest thing, and the screen comes up and it buffets, and all you can hear is wind noise. So I had to put music over that. So that'll be coming out later on, if you're interested in motorbikes. And then I'll say I've got Range Rover. I've got some Range Rover videos lined up that I'm going to film. But because that's what brings everybody in. Everybody loves a Range Rover. Hopefully you'll love the Panda. So I'm going to crack on now. Anyone's interested in any shooting, check out Mad Dog Air Guns. All these links you can find on Ben's Garage channel, down on my other channels. I've got Mad Dog Air Guns, Mad Dog Farm, Ben's Reviews. I'll review this watch on Ben's Reviews. So yeah, keeps me busy, this YouTube business. But I love it, and I ain't got anything else to do, so... Well, I have. We've got shitloads to do, but I'm not going to go into that because I'll be here all bloody night. And it's 10:30 now. I know it's only 9:30 where you are. So yeah, that's it from Ben's Garage for tonight. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all come back for some more videos very soon. I'll release one tomorrow night. I always release one on a Thursday, so be sure to check out tomorrow's video. So yeah, thanks for coming along tonight, and we'll catch you maybe in the next live stream. And Sam was actually saying that we ought to do a live stream together, which I'll email him and see if he's still up for that. And the next live stream that I do, or if he's going to do one, we'll do it together. That's an option. Let us know in the comments of this video if that's something you'd like to see, because Sam's obviously got a lot to talk about now with his Esarco project and his Range Rover stuff and his MX-5 that he's doing, and yeah, so if that's something you want to see in the next live stream, then let me know. So for tonight, I'm going to sign off, and so from me and the Hobbit in the other room, it's